You've watched all the screaming tutorials, you've been trying to fry ice cream, and you wonder, why does my fried ice cream sound like this? Well, others sounds like this. Let me explain it to you. Firstly, when you get the basics down, you next have to do what I call refining. You can get the basics down as much as you want. You can practice that simple vocal fry as much as you want. You can practice transitioning that into a fry scream, adding more distortion, going higher or lower. You can even do tunnel positioning as much as you want, and it's not going to work because it's going to take time. Now, one of the most important things you need to recognize that it took me way too long to recognize is that when you're learning these screams, which you need to know this, when your voice gets tired, it's not going to sound good anymore, okay? Before you warm up, it's not going to sound good. After your voice gets tired, it's not going to sound good. And it's very easy to get discouraged because you're listening to it, you're saying, oh, I just had this. I just had it, especially in your first weeks. The biggest problem that I ran into was within the first couple weeks, I unlocked my fry. I unlocked a good high fry, and it sounded really good. It sounded really clean. It was really distorted. I was really happy. 5 minutes later, I couldn't replicate it at all. It sounded awful. I couldn't even go up as high as I was going before. And I was sitting there and I was thinking to myself, why can I not do this anymore? Well, eventually I realized when you tire your voice out, it doesn't sound good. Shocker. Give your voice some rest, okay? Make sure that at first you're practicing maybe even only 10 or 5 minutes a day. If you don't regularly use your voice, if you don't regularly put tension on it, especially if you don't sing, your voice is not going to be used to that. You need to ease your voice in. You can't throw it in the deep end and expect it to do well, okay? Your voice is an instrument. Imagine you go and you try to play the piano, and your teacher slaps a list piece right in front of you and says, figure it out. After a couple minutes, you're not going to know what you're doing because you're going to be so confused. Your fingers are going to be so tired out because you haven't played anything before. Same thing for your voice, okay? Give it rest. And eventually as you refine, as you give your voice more rest, will turn into and rah. So just give it time. Give it rest. I hope this helps.